Chicago has always been known for its vibrant arts and culture sector. But arts education has not always enjoyed the same prominence in Chicago public schools as it does now. With significant budget cuts in the late 1970s, Chicago public schools were left with no arts educators and few resources for arts programs. For several decades, multiple attempts were made to bring the arts back to CPS, but none had the scope and scale necessary to impact all schools across the district. It wasn't until an intrepid group of arts education funders led a citywide process that brought everyone together around a shared vision that every child deserves access to the arts in our schools. And that's how Ingenuity was born, to lead this important work. Today, the arts are thriving in Chicago public schools, thanks to Ingenuity's innovative, data-driven strategies and its partnership with CPS, the City of Chicago, and the vast array of arts organizations who are working with students every day. Over the past 10 years, Ingenuity's singular focus has been to ensure that every child in every grade, in every CPS school, has access to a high-quality arts education. And to get there, we're making sure that all stakeholders, including CPS leadership, principals, arts teachers, and the extraordinary community of arts organizations across the city, have the tools, knowledge, and resources they need to deliver meaningful arts programs to students. Tools like Artlook, Ingenuity's online data mapping platform that has revolutionized the ways in which schools and arts organizations connect and build partnerships. Tools like the Creative Schools Certification Scale, which demonstrates how well a school is performing in its arts education staffing and programming, and provides a path for improvement. Resources like free learning opportunities for arts educators so that they can build on their skills and knowledge to maximize their impact on students. And so much more.
Over the past 10 years, Ingenuity has led a monumental transformation of arts education in Chicago public schools, with unprecedented progress in the ways that students are experiencing and benefiting from the arts in their lives. Today, 75,000 more students have consistent access to high-quality arts education every year. We've seen a 97% increase in the number of schools that are offering meaningful arts programs, with growth in all communities across the city. Every year, a community of 600 arts organizations are working with CPS students, leveraging Ingenuity's data, tools, and resources to be more effective and efficient. And we've only just begun. 10 years of providing our city's children with the opportunity to create, thrive, and reach their fullest potential through the arts. 10 years of transforming our country's third largest public school district. 10 years of leadership. Ingenuity.
Welcome, everyone, to Ingenuity at 10, Igniting Equity in Arts Education. Thank you for joining us tonight and for helping us transform the lives of Chicago public school students through arts education. The arts have been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, whether being inspired by poetry or a work of art, or even listening to my daughter play the trumpet in her middle school band. I know firsthand that the arts can shape the way we perceive the world. And that's why I've dedicated the past 20 years of my career to arts education and making sure that all children have the opportunity to experience and benefit from the arts in their lives. 10 years ago, I had the good fortune of being asked to lead a brand new organization with a singular focus, ensuring that all CPS students have access to the arts as part of their education. Since then, Ingenuity has led unprecedented progress in arts education access, quality, and equity in Chicago. Today, 75,000 more CPS students now have consistent access each year to the arts in schools. Tonight is a celebration to mark 10 years of Ingenuity's leadership, to recognize the artistic achievements of CPS students, and to honor the resilience and perseverance of our city's principals, teachers, and arts organizations. Before we start tonight's program, I'd like to thank our event honorary co-chairs, Steve and Nancy Crown, Susie Kiphart, Steve Solomon, and David Vitale. 8 years ago, these arts education champions came together to help raise funds to seed Ingenuity's work and our grant making through the Creative Schools Fund. We're so grateful that they've convened once more to offer their support to Ingenuity in recognition of this milestone year. To our co-chairs, thank you for your leadership, your generosity, and your commitment to arts education equity for all CPS students. I'd also like to thank tonight's sponsors. Your investment in Ingenuity means a great deal to us and to the students and schools whom we serve. Thank you for sharing in our important mission. All of our supporters are listed before and after tonight's program and on Ingenuity's website. In particular, I'd like to thank our lead sponsors, the Margot and Thomas Pritzker Family Foundation, Nancy and Steve Crown and the Crown family, Exelon, Jim and Kay Mabey, and Capital Group Private Client Services. I'd also like to extend our deepest gratitude to members of our event planning committee, Kelly Carter, Kimberly Dowdell, Darcy Evon, Francie Harrington, and Savi Pai. Thank you for your help in making tonight's event such a success. Lastly, I'd like to thank Dr. Janice Jackson, who recently announced she's departing her role as CEO of Chicago Public Schools at the end of the school year. During her tenure, CPS has become a national exemplar among large urban school districts, with record improvements in student achievement and outcomes. We're proud to have had the opportunity to collaborate with Dr. Jackson and her staff, and are grateful for her steady leadership. Thank you, Dr. Jackson, for your thoughtful partnership and for being such a steadfast champion of arts education and CPS. This is a critical time for Chicago's schools and the arts education sector. While we're slowly getting back to some level of normalcy, there is much work to be done to keep advancing our vision that every child deserves access to the arts in schools. Every day, that vision continues to drive and inspire me and the Ingenuity board and staff, because we know that the arts have the power to help CPS students learn, flourish, and succeed in the classroom and life. If you're not already a supporter of Ingenuity, please consider making a contribution this evening and joining us in this important work. I hope you'll keep watching tonight as we introduce you to Ingenuity's work, welcome special guests to help us celebrate the past 10 years, and look ahead to the next 10 years and beyond. Thank you again for joining us and for believing in Ingenuity and the extraordinary potential of our city's children.
I'm Dr. Janice Jackson, CEO of Chicago Public Schools, and I am thrilled to congratulate the team at Ingenuity on 10 years of success. As a lifelong educator, I've seen firsthand the transformative power of the arts. I've seen a withdrawn student reconnect with the world when a paintbrush is put in their hand, and a painfully quiet child find their voice through the gift of song. Exposure to music, dance, theater, and the visual and media arts build confidence in our students, deepening their sense of who they are. I've marveled at the way a student's participation in the arts can broaden their cultural horizons while also raising their achievement level in academic subjects such as reading and math. For these and many other reasons, arts education has long been a priority in Chicago Public Schools. Every student, no matter their background, deserves an education that will help them create, innovate, and follow their passions. This is what quality arts instruction does for children, and why we are so grateful for partners like Ingenuity. 10 years ago, with the support from the talented team, CPS created our arts education plan. It was a sweeping mission to bring quality arts instruction into every student's life, and it remains our North Star to this day. Thanks to Ingenuity, the majority of CPS students now attend schools that are considered strong or excelling in the arts. This team has brought Chicago's most vibrant cultural institutions into CPS schools. And through these partnerships, our students have discovered talents they never knew they had. Their leadership has also helped us identify gaps in arts instruction, allowing us to more equitably distribute resources across the city. So on this milestone occasion, the day on which we celebrate Ingenuity's 10 years of impact on our city, I want to say a profound thank you on behalf of Chicago Public Schools. Thank you for connecting us with artists who have helped our students explore the rich cultural backdrop of the city that we call home. Thank you for encouraging our young people to embrace diversity, harness their creativity, and build the confidence they will need to be successful in college, career, and community. And thank you for helping CPS sustain arts education by strengthening our curriculum and building the capacity of our teachers. Congratulations again, Ingenuity, on a great 10 years. I look forward to the next 10 years when we will continue working together to ensure that every child in every school receives the arts education they deserve.
Thanks to Ingenuity's leadership, arts education in Chicago Public Schools has made unprecedented progress over the past 10 years. With many important stakeholders who are working to impact 340,000 CPS students every year, Ingenuity's role is to ensure that everyone has the tools, information, and resources necessary to advance arts education access, quality, and equity for all students.
In many ways, Ingenuity is the connective tissue for Chicago's arts education sector. We help fill in gaps in information and resources, and make sure that everyone is fully aligned, coordinated, and working together towards our shared cause, arts education equity for students. And we're proud to partner with CPS and all of our stakeholders to drive that important systems level change.
That change begins with data. Before Ingenuity, data about arts education in CPS was extremely limited. No one could provide a bird's eye view of the types of arts programs that were being offered. No one knew how many arts organizations were working with students in schools, and no one could specifically identify where and why gaps in arts education access existed. Today, the landscape is much improved. Every year, Ingenuity collects arts education data from CPS administration, individual schools, and arts organizations. We learn about the number of CPS arts teachers in every school, the number of minutes of weekly arts instruction, and the depth and diversity of arts disciplines offered, among many other data points. Importantly, schools let us know the types of programs that they need to meet students' interests, and arts organizations tell us about their available programs. Through publications and our online Artlook platform, Ingenuity makes all of this data available to help the arts education sector continue to improve the ways in which we reach and impact students. But it's more than just collecting data. It's about putting that data in the right hands to drive change across the sector.
Congratulations, Ingenuity, on your 10th anniversary. My name is Julia de Betancourt, and I am the Executive Director of Arts Education for Chicago Public Schools. I am in my role because I believe every child deserves the same opportunity. It's an honor to work in a sector and with a partner that shares these core values unconditionally. I am grateful for our partnership with Ingenuity over the last 10 years. I think the distance we have traveled together is remarkable. We've made access to a high-quality arts education an integral part of the fabric of our school system. But the progress we've made cannot be measured strictly by the public moments that most people see. My team and I work weekly, sometimes daily, with the Ingenuity team to achieve our shared vision. We use data to drive our decisions, looking at neighborhoods and CPS networks to identify trends that drive strategy. Over time, that strategy has grown more nuanced, complex, and targeted. Now in the city of Chicago, we can craft data-driven arts education strategy that drives towards the meaningful impacts we intend while keeping equity at the center of our choices. I don't think we could have said that 10 years ago. From all of us at the Department of Arts Education, thank you, Ingenuity. We're proud of how far we've come, and we look forward to how far we'll go.
Today, Ingenuity's data initiatives drive efficient and effective decision-making to make sure that arts education resources are equitably distributed across Chicago, with a particular focus on students and communities with the greatest needs. CPS schools can easily identify ways to increase arts education access for students, including tapping into the vast cultural resources of our city. Arts organizations are using data to identify and partner with schools that need their programs. Funders are using Ingenuity's analyses to refine their grant-making strategies and align with CPS priorities, and so much more. Ingenuity's data-driven strategies are connecting Chicago's arts education stakeholders and providing tangible solutions to help schools and arts organizations improve arts programs for CPS students. The data collected not only identifies gaps in arts education in our city, but also guides Ingenuity's strategic efforts in partnerships and learning. Ingenuity is the leading provider of arts education professional learning in Chicago. Using data as a springboard, Ingenuity creates and designs learning programs and services to help arts educators connect with each other and more effectively and equitably propel high-quality work with students.
Ingenuity's Partnerships and Learning team provides tools and resources that support quality arts instruction in CPS schools. Our goal is to help community arts organizations and teachers of all disciplines align their unique arts education pedagogy, practices, and programs with CPS district priorities to maximize their impact on students. Each year, we host large events like our summits, which help schools and arts organizations connect and build partnerships to increase programs for students. We also offer our annual Arts Education Conference that convenes arts teachers and organizations to learn and grow together.
Ingenuity also provides workshops and technical assistance for arts organizations and teaching artists. The workshops dive deeply into specific content or topics, with diversity, equity, and inclusion at the forefront.
Our programs change every year in response to what the sector tells us that it needs. For example, over the past year, we've offered programs about best practices in teaching the arts virtually, or how to recognize when students might be dealing with trauma resulting from the pandemic or interruptions to learning. Now, as schools begin to reopen, we're helping educators use the arts to support students as they reconnect with each other and their schools and heal from the challenges of the past year. And we're doing that through the lens of supporting arts organizations that might need additional assistance in building their capacity and making sure that their programs are impacting students who would most benefit.
Ingenuity is focused on building an arts education sector that is knowledgeable and informed, with arts educators and organizations that represent the students whom we serve, and that offer high-quality programs that reflect the diverse interests of CPS students. And while the events of the past year have challenged us all like never before, Ingenuity's data and partnerships and learning work is helping the sector through and beyond the pandemic.
My name is Tariq Brown. I started out as a kid with a really bad stutter and like a really, really bad lisp, and I wasn't great at communicating with others. But as I, grew into visual arts and I was able to communicate with myself in that way, I gained a confidence that has helped me with talking to people better, which is something that I never thought that I would, get better at. I remember the first drawing that I ever really was proud of. I was in the car visiting my grandfather at the hospital, and I drew him a giraffe, and he was so proud of that. And then the same week, I drew a picture for my crush, and it really just allowed me to show even if I couldn't say the words to somebody, I could, show them how I felt about them through my art. I mostly focus on the visual arts, so drawing and painting and ceramics and things like that. And I study that because I think it's very hands-on. It's something that I've been doing since I've been finger painting as a kid. And I think it's a very primal way to express yourself. I think the arts have taught me how to really express myself, but also how to show that to other people and really give myself a voice, and one that's truly cultivated, and how I want to, show myself to the world. I think that it's important that students have access to the arts, because in elementary school, I actually had very little experience with art classrooms. I had a very artistic family, and so that helped cultivate my experience with the arts. But in the classroom, I had little to nothing. But going into high school, I really had an amazing arts program, and that really opened my eyes to what I was missing before. And I look back and I think about all of the students that really could have gotten really great benefits that didn't go to the same high school that I went to and didn't have access to the same amount of arts and arts programs. And so I think that without equitable access to the arts, there's a lot of people missing out on their true passion.
Hello, everyone. I'm Francie Harrington. For the past 10 years, I've had the honor and pleasure of serving as chair of the Ingenuity Board of Directors and witnessing firsthand the organization's extraordinary impact on arts education in Chicago Public Schools. Thank you again for joining us as we celebrate Ingenuity's first decade. Growing up in the far Chicago suburbs with a modest upbringing, I was fortunate to be introduced to the arts through piano and violin lessons in our school. I learned to read music, played in the school orchestra, and soon came to appreciate the abilities of musicians with far more talent than mine. In third grade, I found one of my favorite places to fit into the arts, as an audience member. My class was very excited about a field trip all the way downtown to see a lyric opera performance of Rigoletto. We walked into the grandeur of the Civic Opera House. The lights dimmed dramatically, the music swelled from the orchestra pit, and the artists' big voices boomed from the stage. We couldn't understand the language, but we were fascinated with the lively dance, colorful costumes, and the magnificent sets. It was then that I started to discover that some of the most important roles in the arts are to observe, listen, learn, absorb, and to applaud enthusiastically. Once I found my favorite place, I've explored and supported the arts ever since. Now I feel it's my responsibility to pay it forward so that other students have the opportunity to find the same curiosity, creativity, and joy in the arts. And I do that by applauding enthusiastically for Ingenuity's work in igniting equity in arts education. We know that arts education creates school cultures that build strong communities. Research shows that when students have access to arts education, reading and math scores improve, test scores go up, and high school graduation rates increase. And when students experience the arts, they learn skills like resilience, teamwork, collaboration, and communication. And it's all of these skills that help our students reach their fullest potential and go on to become our city's leaders and innovators. Over the past 10 years, Ingenuity has transformed arts education in CPS. And that transformation is happening in all neighborhoods across the city. Using our data-driven strategies, we've led a 97% increase in the number of schools that offer high-quality arts education programs. Thanks to Ingenuity's tools and resources, a connected and coordinated community of arts teachers, arts organizations, and teaching artists are working efficiently and effectively to impact students. Today, Ingenuity is a renowned national leader in collective impact, arts education, and systems-level change of public education. I'm so proud of Ingenuity and all that we have accomplished over the past decade. Ingenuity's work has been made possible by so many of you who are joining us tonight, including our generous sponsors and supporters. Thank you. In particular, I'd like to thank our Ingenuity Board of Directors. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work with such a dedicated group of experts who are deeply passionate about arts in our schools and who are working to shape Ingenuity's success for the next 10 years and beyond. Thank you for your leadership and partnership and for your contributions of time, talent, and treasure. As Ingenuity celebrates 10 years, we're proud to recognize the founding investors that stood alongside us as we began our work: the Chicago Community Trust, the Lloyd A. Fry Foundation, J.P. Morgan Chase, and the Polk Brothers Foundation. These four institutions placed their trust in Ingenuity and its mission and helped us start our journey toward increasing arts education access, quality, and equity for all CPS students. Thank you for your confidence and investment. The past year has been challenging for so many of us, and especially CPS students, many of whom continue to learn virtually. COVID-19 has amplified how fragile the arts education sector can be and further highlighted inequities across our city. And while the rebuilding process has just begun and will take some time, there is hope. Ingenuity remains absolutely laser-focused on driving equity in CPS arts education and will work alongside you and our partners to create new ways to uplift and sustain the arts and arts education, supporting new generations of artists and creative thinkers in the process. We know that the arts have the power to bring joy to our children and to help them heal from the pandemic, racial injustices, and interruptions to student learning that have disproportionately affected Black and Brown communities. Though there is much to do, tonight we're celebrating not only Ingenuity's 10th anniversary, but also our resilient principals and teachers, and arts organizations and partners across the city who have found innovative ways to use the arts to inspire and give hope to our students every day. Thank you to our generous supporters and champions for being part of this important work and for continuing to believe in the powerful impact of arts education in our schools.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
And I'm First Lady Amy Eshelman.
And we're here to congratulate Ingenuity on 10 years of leadership and bringing the arts to Chicago Public School students. Chicago's deep history and identity can be expressed through its arts and culture scene, which is unlike anywhere else in the world and shapes who we are as individuals, as communities, and of course, as a city.
Here in Chicago, we are fortunate to have hundreds of arts organizations, museums, theaters, dance companies, galleries, and performers across all neighborhoods who are capable of bringing us joy every day. That's why we want all students in our city to have equitable access to the arts, as well as have the opportunity to become leading creators and artists themselves.
Thanks to Ingenuity's hard work over the past decade and the Creative Schools Fund, $16 million in 800 grants have gone to CPS schools. This is an absolutely incredible achievement. So on behalf of a grateful city, we want to thank Ingenuity for their partnership and for helping our students reach their fullest potential through arts education. Thank you. Congratulations on this very important and impressive milestone. And please, everyone, continue to be safe.
Because of arts education, I was able to have a voice and be heard. Arts education is so much more than an easy A. The process of creating art fosters a skill set that will last a lifetime. Hello, my name is Heather Davis. I am the Director of Community Engagement for Lawndale Christian Development Corporation. In a previous role, I served as Program Director for Turnaround Arts Chicago. I have participated in Ingenuity's collective impact panels for the past 5 years. Ingenuity's work has offered me opportunities to grow as an advocate for arts education. Happy birthday, Ingenuity, and many more.
Hi, my name is Juliana Hossa, and I am the Assistant Director of Education Programs at Arts and Public Life. I have been in arts education for the past 20 years in the form of a practicing artist, a teaching artist, and an arts administrator. I have been fortunate enough to be working with Ingenuity pretty much since its inception. Last year in 2020, I had the great opportunity to participate in Ingenuity's data and research panel. And it's just been a wonderful way for me to really connect with my peers, to really build some skills in research and data, and to also contribute to the wonderful work that Ingenuity has been doing. And so today I congratulate you on 10 years, and I look forward to the next 10 years and see where it takes. Thank you.
I volunteered with Ingenuity's collective impact panels for 6 years. I have known I wanted to be a musician from the time I was 4 and asked for a piano for Christmas. Spoiler, I didn't get one. But I did get the opportunity to teach myself how to read music, and between figuring out songs by ear on the Casio keyboard that I did receive, singing 90s diva pop songs to my heart's content, and eventually learning to play the viola, I've been blessed to call myself a musician. My music has taken me to South America and to Europe, all over the United States. It's helped me forge a career path, and I've made many, many good friends, and I would call them family throughout my time as a musician. I joined Ingenuity's collective impact panel because professional learning is something that has interested me for at least the past decade, and I found a way to help shape the learning opportunities that exist right here in Chicago. The many hours spent figuring out if we were talking about content or delivery, asking hard questions of my colleagues and my employees, and really looking deeply at the work I've been doing and encouraging other organizations to do the same, as well as utilizing Ingenuity's data resources for grant writing and targeting my organization's work at the places where we thought we could make the most impact. These are just a few of the things that Ingenuity's work has had an impact on in my time.
Hello, my name is Yo-Yo Mom, and I cannot tell you how excited I am that Ingenuity is going to celebrate their 10th anniversary, because I want to tell you, I think Paul Schneeweiss is one of my great heroes in life, because I saw what Ingenuity did with CPS over a number of years to bring back arts education. From the town hall meetings they had where parents asked for one thing, they wanted arts for their kids. Town hall after town hall meeting, and then I participated in some of the discussions or presentations with district principals, administrators, the school board, and the work that Paul and his team have done over the last 10 years has actually brought back something that has not happened in Chicago for over 40 years. And this is the will of the people with passionate pillars of society like Paul and the school board that actually made what is today a vibrant and growing arts community within the public schools. So thank you, Ingenuity. Thank you, Paul Schneeweiss, for your passion and for your work over the last decade. And boy, are we lucky to have you.
Advocacy is probably one of the least understood, yet most powerful of Ingenuity strategies to drive change in arts education. And when you change policy, you're affecting change at the systems level, not just school by school, not by neighborhood by neighborhood. The greatest return comes from when we demonstrate the impact of arts education on students and encourage community members, our key leaders, and elected officials to support policies that increase arts education quality and access for all students, particularly those in Chicago public schools. And as Ingenuity has consistently demonstrated, our advocacy efforts have resulted in increased public investment and accountability that continue to transform arts education in CPS and school districts across Illinois.
Over the past 10 years, Ingenuity has mobilized Chicago's arts and education sectors to advocate for equitable access to the arts in Chicago public schools, drawing support and traction to advance district and statewide arts education policies for CPS students. Ingenuity's advocacy strategies have included partnering with city and CPS leaders to decrease barriers to the arts, advance accountability, and target resources to fill gaps in arts education, educating community members and encouraging them to voice their opinions with elected officials on issues that impact arts education in our schools, collaborating with policy and advocacy organizations to ensure that the arts are represented in discussions on education, health, workforce development, and other allied sectors, and meeting with and testifying in front of elected officials and key leaders to help them understand the importance of arts education equity for our students. As an example of Ingenuity's leadership in advocacy and coalition building, today Illinois is one of 2 states in the nation that has statewide legislation that includes arts education as a weighted success indicator of school quality. For the first time, schools will be held accountable for their arts education programming and infrastructure, which will also incentivize school leaders and districts to make decisions that increase arts education access, quality, and equity.
To bring the arts education indicator to fruition, we had to marshal the entirety of Ingenuity, our data resources, communications, grassroots organizing, partnership building, and so much more. And though it took several years, the indicator is tremendously important because it reaffirms the importance of arts education as being essential to student success, and it opens the door to potential new funding opportunities and additional supports for arts learning. You know, sometimes our policy wins are small, such as an adjustment to an administrative policy. And sometimes they're big, like implementing a statewide arts education indicator for all schools. And whether they're big or they're small, our advocacy results are often the most powerful and impactful in bringing down barriers and transforming the system to better serve our students.
In addition to our data, professional learning, and advocacy strategies, Ingenuity's Creative Schools Fund is amplifying our impact on CPS students across the city. Initially seeded by generous private donors, today the Creative Schools Fund is a grant-making partnership between Ingenuity, the Chicago Mayor's Office, and Chicago Public Schools to expand arts education for every student in every grade. Since 2013, the Creative Schools Fund has provided nearly $16 million directly to CPS schools to support increased art supplies and programming for students. Every year, schools apply to the Creative Schools Fund for arts education programs that are designed by CPS teachers. These programs often feature partnerships with Chicago's extraordinary cultural institutions, community arts organizations, and teaching artists, bringing our city's vibrant artistic talents and resources into CPS classrooms. The Creative Schools Fund supports CPS schools in every Chicago neighborhood, with a particular focus on schools that need additional supports to increase arts education access for students. Thanks to the fund and the investment of our donors and our city and CPS partners, today CPS students across Chicago are benefiting from new arts education experiences and maximizing their potential by learning teamwork and creating a mural, building communication skills through dance, discovering resilience and playing an instrument, and finding their voices on the stage. These important experiences are uplifting the voices of our students and elevating them as the next generation of talented artists, innovative thinkers, and creative leaders for our city. In just 10 years, Ingenuity has advanced the most progress in arts education in CPS than in the past 4 decades combined, with growing recognition as an innovative, award-winning leader and convener. Today, 75,000 more CPS students now have access to high-quality arts programs in their schools every year. These results have positioned CPS as a leader among large urban school districts and elevated Ingenuity's national profile. Cities and states across the country are now using Ingenuity's tools to replicate our successes in their school districts, including our Artlook data mapping platform, professional learning services, advocacy strategies, and more. But we know that the job in our own hometown is not yet done. 40% of CPS schools still struggle to offer consistent access to arts education, disproportionately impacting more than 100,000 Black and Brown children in underserved communities on the south and west sides of our city. And the challenges of the past year have highlighted disparities across Chicago and made it clear that the arts education sector is vulnerable in ways that still need to be addressed. Ingenuity remains fiercely committed to driving arts education equity in Chicago public schools. To get the job done and bring the arts to all CPS students will take even more precise strategies than ever before, leveraging the full resources of Ingenuity and Chicago's arts education stakeholders to help schools overcome unique barriers. Ingenuity's stability, leadership, and vision will be critical as we ensure that the arts in our schools remain a priority through recovery efforts and as we build a more sustainable system to advance arts education access, quality, and equity in CPS. We believe that arts education helps all students reach their fullest potential. We believe that the arts have the power to inspire, heal, and bring joy to our children. And for the past 10 years, Ingenuity has proven that when we have the collective will to change the way we do things, we can transform an entire system for the betterment of our students, our schools, and our city. Extraordinary possibilities. Powerful impact. Join us for the next 10 years and beyond.
Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly Dowdell. I'm proud to be an architect and marketing principal with HOK, a global design firm, as well as a member of the Ingenuity Board of Directors. I come from a family of artists, and I chose to pursue architecture as a direct result of my early education in the arts. I know firsthand how important it is to promote and protect the arts. From a personal perspective, I reflect fondly on an experience in a middle school art class, where my teacher gave each student a shoebox and encouraged us to create an apartment with blocks, carpet samples, and other small items. That project transformed in my mind what was possible with the power of design. Growing up in Detroit at a time when downtown buildings were shuttered and ghosts of their former selves, I decided when I was 11 years old that I wanted to become an architect to revitalize my city. I later went on to study architecture and live in many different cities over the past 20 years. Shortly after moving to Chicago in 2019, I joined the Ingenuity board because I firmly believe in the organization's mission of ensuring that every Chicago public school student has access to the arts. To me, Ingenuity's work is critically important because the pipeline to the architecture profession needs to be much more robust and diverse. I am also the immediate past president of the National Organization of Minority Architects, or NOMA, and I've witnessed the tremendous need for more people of color to help us shape our collective built environment. By ensuring that CPS students can experience the arts in their lives, starting at the earliest grade levels, Ingenuity is fostering new generations of diverse architects, artists, and informed audiences. And we know this is also true for so many professions that need pioneering leaders, creative thinkers, and innovative problem solvers. Arts education made all the difference in my life, and I believe that CPS students deserve the same opportunities. Tonight, I hope you've enjoyed learning more about Ingenuity's work over the past 10 years in increasing arts education access, quality, and equity in CPS. We've made extraordinary progress thanks to our partnership with you, with the City of Chicago, with CPS leaders, principals, and teachers, and with the hundreds of cultural institutions, community arts organizations, and teaching artists who are impacting students every day. We know that there's much more work to do. COVID-19 has underscored inequities in many parts of our education system, and we have a long road ahead in our recovery. But we also know that the arts have the potential to help students heal and reconnect with each other, their schools, and communities. And that's just one of the many reasons why I'm glad that Ingenuity is so committed to arts education equity and providing the information, tools, and resources to uplift all of our partners and stakeholders through and beyond the pandemic. This important work would not be possible without tonight's sponsors and contributors. Thank you for your overwhelming generosity. If you haven't already done so, please join us in being an arts education champion with your financial support. It's truly an investment in the future of our children. Thank you again for joining us tonight and standing up for arts education. And thank you for believing in what CPS students can accomplish with the arts in their lives. As we close tonight's program, please join me and the Ingenuity family in saying, Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.
Happy anniversary, Ingenuity.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.
You're my people.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity. Cheers to you.
Happy birthday, Ingenuity. Happy birthday to you. Cheers. Here's to 10 more years, Ingenuity.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.
Happy 10th anniversary, Ingenuity.